son of a...
Guilty Gear has always been uncompromising. A rebellious, passionate spirit makes the heavy metal aesthetic and wildly outlandish characters more than just gimmicks. It's a series that generally knows what it wants to be and goes all in toward that vision. While much of that spark is transferred to other projects like BlazBlue and Persona 4 Arena, we've still missed the distinct, riotous energy of Guilty Gear. In that sense, Guilty Gear Xrd is a full-blown rebirth. It reinvigorates the series with a stunning new look and fresh characters. While it may lack the accessibility or sheer cultural cachet of other properties, Guilty Gear Xrd is nonetheless a thrilling fighter that deserves recognition.
Welcome.
The most immediately striking addition is the game's graphical shift. Although fights still occur on a 2D plane, the characters are actually full 3D models. During certain moments, like the beginning of a battle or with specific attacks, the camera rotates as if to remind you how gorgeous it all is. Arc System Works found the perfect way to capture the feel of classic Guilty Gear, while also making it come alive in a brand new way. Seeing Ino slowly slide up the fretboard of her guitar, or witnessing Faust getting ready to practice his bizarre brand of medicine never gets old. In most fighting games, we tend to skip character introductions after seeing them once or twice, but here, we found ourselves unable to look away.
Please, a moment of your time.
All of it is wonderfully complemented by an explosive soundtrack. The series has always been fond of wailing, thunderous guitars, and that's equally true here. Xrd unabashedly and aggressively shreds away in a manner that's so sincere, it's hard not to admire. Even hours after putting down the controller, the various riffs pound away in our heads.
Let's rock!
Despite the visual change, the game still feels like Guilty Gear, and that's a good thing. The roster is extremely varied, and no two characters play alike. Venom strikes down opponents with a pool cue and billiard balls, while May swings an anchor and unleashes dolphins at enemies. Each of them is imbued with so much personality that we're struggling to find a favorite. The four newcomers, Bedman, Ramlethal, Elfelt, and Leo Whitefang, blend in well. Bedman and Ramlethal are available up front, while the other two are DLC. They're all great for various reasons, but we're particularly fond of Bedman. Although he's certainly not considered one of the top fighters, his design is endearingly off-kilter. Instead of being another muscular brute, he's a comatose boy, pinned to a bizarre robot bed by two giant nails. His victory quotes are hilariously lengthy and mockingly cynical.
You know the odds of a magic ship just falling from the sky for no reason? About 0.00001%, but really those odds don't mean anything, especially to you. The only odds that matter are life and death, and they're about 50-50, so congratulations, you survived. You beat the odds, barely.
Unfortunately, despite the high level of quality, the cast still feels rather lean. It's a fraction of some of the previous games' rosters, and longtime favorites like Testament and Baiken are noticeably absent. Since many of these characters are so synonymous with the series, it's hard not to longingly imagine how well they'd translate to the game's new look. What is present in full force is the mechanically heavy nature of the fighting. For those not yet versed in the world of Guilty Gear, expect to be overwhelmed by concepts like Roman cancels, dust attacks, psych bursts, faultless defense, and so on. Thankfully, a tutorial breaks down every aspect of the game in a way that's easy to understand. It won't single-handedly make you a competitive player, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. Similarly, Mission Mode makes you repeatedly practice advanced concepts that, once mastered, can actually make a substantial difference during a fight. Other modes vary greatly in terms of success. Mom Mode, short for Medal of Millionaire, makes a welcome return. It's a survival-style mode where your character earns medals based on performance and evolves over time through an RPG-like progression system. For those needing a break from online battles or arcade practice, it's a solid diversion. Less interesting is Story Mode, where you don't play at all. Instead, it's nothing but strung-together cutscenes that last for 3 hours. When other fighting games feature more elaborate and engaging story modes, it's tough to accept what Xrd has to offer. Plus, what is here isn't particularly memorable. It's so full of cliches and caricatures that it's difficult to sit through.
I hope my dress doesn't get too dirty.
The online portion is competent, if not exceptional. During our review, we rarely experienced severe latency issues, a common complaint during the game's launch. Updates since then seem to have made a substantial improvement. Like BlazBlue and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Guilty Gear Xrd tries to emulate an arcade experience online. Players enter lobbies where they can reserve a seat at a station, spectating matches until it's their turn to fight. It's all very similar to putting a quarter on a cabinet, but Arc System Works has done this style better before. To get into a single match, you have to pick a region, select a lobby within that region, enter a room within the lobby, and then hope a station is open. It's far too many steps for such a simple thing. Thankfully, convenience is provided in other ways. During fights, players have to hold down the pause button for a couple of seconds before the menu pops up, preventing awkward and accidental interruptions. Button layouts can be changed quickly at the character select screen without the need to accept adjustments once they've been made. Simply tap out your preferred setup and get ready to fight. There's also the option to switch between English and Japanese voice tracks, an often overlooked but appreciated feature.
You're too slow!
It's hard to get hung up on the game's shortcomings when the core fighting looks and feels so outstanding. Matches are often loud, colorful spectacles in a way few competitors can match. And though the roster isn't the biggest, each character has an abundance of style and complexity. Like the rest of the series, Guilty Gear Xrd takes patience and commitment to fully wrap your head around, but the rewards are so substantial that the investment is absolutely worth it. Nothing is quite like Guilty Gear, and Xrd expertly demonstrates why it's been missed so much.
Get out of my sight!